So, hello everybody, and welcome to the ODTN use case team call of this week. And I'd like first action point. I'd like to confirm everybody that the working day at ONF is going to be held by 9:30 to 1:30. I see some people have registered to the form I've put up. We are seven, excluding me at the moment, so that's good. And I hope a few more people can join. And I will provide the bridge for European people to join when I put the event on the calendar and I fix a few more things. So please register in the form if you plan to attend locally. Be on the lookout for remote participation information if you are planning to to be remote. Something that I'd like to mention is that the TAPI people, so the people that are putting together the standard that we are leveraging for northbound and southbound, northbound towards the BSS OSS and southbound towards the OLS, are having a meeting in the same time frame, meaning the week of the 3rd, at Infinera in California. It's fairly close to the Menlo Park office. It's about 30 minutes. And on Monday, there is a specific session on ODTN. And they have reserved some space for us if somebody wants to join. I personally would like to join, but most likely I will be involved in setting up and preparing ONF Connect at the venue. So I could probably not go. It would be, in my opinion, very helpful if somebody from this team could go to Infinera and discuss with them the ODTN requirements for phase 1.5 and in general for the project, and bring them back to this group itself. I'm going to send out an email. I just wanted to put it out to anybody. It's an open call, so I would be very happy if somebody can step up and go. If I'm not involved, I will probably go.
Hey, Andrea, this is Ayush. So I will volunteer somebody from my team to go, and given that obviously it's a very important piece for us to kind of figure it out. So we'll definitely have one of my guys go on that workshop. So if you can forward those details, I'll send it to I'll cascade it to my team.
Thanks, Ayush. That's great. And a couple of your guys would be able to participate in the morning workshop as well, right?
Yeah, that including me, and we will have 3 more guys. So we'll be in the morning workshop, and then one person out of those 4 or separately, I'll send it for that workshop.
Okay, thanks. And as soon as you have more details on who is going to participate in the morning, please do register in the form.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I might be able to attend, and I'll see if one of somebody else could attend, at least not to send just one guy, which is always helpful. And thanks, Ayush, for volunteering one of your company people. But I would also like to put somebody else just to have a team of 2. So I'll follow up on that via email. Something that I just want to put out is that the Metro Hall project did a very awesome demo with parts of the code that we plan to reuse, especially the intent subsystem. So if you're interested, go check it out. It's on YouTube. It's this video here. Well, it's not really loaded, but it's okay. So please go check it out, and it's the link is over there. Regarding instead, I actually thought that it would be very nice to look at the old ODTN Jira board because I tried to update it and put in some more tasks for 1.5. So instead of having like a list of things on the Google Doc, I said that this would be a better. I decided this would be a better choice. So I would like to ask. So this is really what we are currently doing in the project, and I would like to ask everybody to give a bit of an update on these different components. Before we do that, I know that there has been some issues regarding the move to ONOS 2.0, and we are in the process of fixing them. So please be on the lookout for patches and updates and emails on the mailing list. I've been discussing it with Hamano from NTT, with Ramon on another side because of the update to phase 2.0. So I'll start with mine. The OFC demo phase 1.5 has been submitted as a paper, and it's there. And I've been working closely with some of the vendors of the OLS subsystem to get that settled and done. For the ONF Connect demo, I'm still working with either Infinera to see if they are able to provide transponders, and on another side, we're also seeing if we could get done a phase 1.0 demo on Cassini, but I'll let Hiroki speak about that.
Yes, and I discussed with IP Infusion guys yesterday, and I discussed the technical detail about the how to map from OpenConfig to the ONOS and the TIE interfaces, and I shared the detailed OpenConfig sample configuration XML, and also share the OpenConfig netconf emulator and the netconf console to test their ONOS node-bound interfaces using OpenConfig. And I also asked them to provide their Cassini boxes to the ONF Connect demo. And I keep in touch and working closely with them and to the ONF Connect.
Okay,
that's all.
Thanks, Hiroki. Thanks for that. And then I would like Karthik, so this story is actually assigned to me, but I would like Karthik and the TAPI group to comment on the choices that they have been discussing for a RESTconf TAPI 2.1 emulator. I see Karthik has not connected. Or wait.
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute. Hey, Andrea.
Thanks. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So basically, like, there is not much discussions needed in this. It's just like that we need to work on it, and we need to find resources to work on this. So I did a quick look, and I did some quick runs on this existing emulators, and looks like it needs some work because some stuff is broken. It's a generator is actually done in Python using Swagger CodeGen. So right now the Swagger CodeGen is sort of got a fork of the community edition. It's called Open API Generator, and there is some breakages between these migrations. So we had to work through that, and it's just a matter of just putting some time onto it. But once we get this up, once at least we get a reference simulator or emulator, the plan is to basically support the query for topology and to create the connectivity service. Right. So these two is what we would put it back in. Like, this is what we had in the past. So the other stuff, like I mean, there is no path computation and things like that, of course, because this is just a simple emulator. But at least we'll be able to show, we'll able to emulate a network topology for this at least demo, and then create the connectivity based on the expected sequences. Right. So it's more or less just simply just to validate the flow of messages, but nothing more.
Yes. So just as a quick question on my side, do you have an expectation on the timeline?
So the idea was I thought I would have had it done by today, by this call. But always, as you know, like once you start working on it, I found like issues even within the Python 3. And there is some stuff that is broken between, say, Python older version, like I think it was 3.5 and 3.7, which is the latest ones. So I had to work through those things and try to figure out workarounds.
Okay.
It might be surprising, but there is even breaks in the the code has broken even the basic Python language.
Okay, thanks
So,
for that.
as well as the open, like I said, like even the code gen, Swagger code gen, there is a community fork which is the latest and looks like that's maintained more aggressively. But that again seems to have broken stuff, at least for Python generators.
Okay.
Arturo,
Thanks.
we have been playing around with the with the OpenAPI specification from TAPI 2.1. We generate the code, I think, both in Python and in Java, and both, I think, they were working. I mean, the server stuff. At least, well, we have. I'm 100% sure that at least the Java version is running, and I mean, it works okay. The Python one, I tried less than 1 month ago. I think I generated the stuff and also was working fine. So maybe we can review it.
Yeah, maybe then we can review it. Yeah. So is this for the TAPI 2.1?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So then that's good because in my environment it's kind of broken. It just doesn't. Whatever is generated, it just doesn't even like the validation checks don't pass. Code gen, like it just doesn't start up the server.
Yeah, at least I can say that the Java version is working fine because we are actually having a server stub on which we are making some tests with the preliminary southbound driver in ONOS for the OLS, and we are using this server stuff as the tester. So, I mean, we were trying to follow the same approach that we were discussing here, and actually with the Java server stuff is working fine. So I will propose.
So good. If you can share, yeah. If you can propose it or share it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but how do you want that I share? I directly upload the server stuff somewhere?
We can actually right now initially upload it in ODTN space because it'll have better view and
yes,
we can collaborate on that. We don't need to put it in TAPI right now.
If it's a folder that you can zip or compress, I think if you can send it to me, I can upload it to the ODTN drive, or you yourself can upload it to the ODTN drive, basically here.
Okay,
won't it be simpler easier if we use it in the Gerrit and Git code repository? Because
yes,
as in code repository.
We would probably have to create a separate repository for that.
Okay.
Because we currently
even drive is good. Like I think drive is good. I can download it once we have it in the drive. Or doesn't matter. Yeah.
Okay.
But if there is a working version, we can just use that.
Yeah. I can either submit the. I will submit. I can share to Andrea or anyone else, or share by shared folder implementation based on ONOS. On Java or on Python. I think that I can easily generate both, and maybe can be uploaded both, and anyone can download from the repository the one that they prefer. Just to be sure, my approach using the OpenAPI specification files, it was to use the one that is generated from the photonic media young model, because actually that one imports the connectivity model, the topology model, and the common model. I'm not even sure. I think that also even path computation. So that's the one that with a single file you have a more complete output of the
Right.
model. However, you don't have the, for instance, the audio extensions. That's the only thing that probably will not be
Right.
inside.
Yeah. So what I did is actually, so I can share with you like the all. So I use the tool to generate all. So I have basically created a Swagger with all, but basically it works. This photonic should be good enough for our purposes right now.
Okay.
And maybe the
Right.
problem it could be with the when you generate all. I can explore a little bit that. I can review also the okay. I agree on that. I will share with you, Andrea.
Yeah, but photonic is good enough, Arturo. Right now, that's more than enough for our purpose.
Okay,
Uh,
great.
It's just going to miss the ODU and Ethernet, but I don't think we need ODU and Ethernet right now for the demo, at least.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks for this, guys. Just send it to me as soon as you have it. We can take a look at it, test it, and when it's ready, we can actually move it to the TAPI repository. What do you think?
Yeah, that should be good.
The only thing regarding the topic repository is just that we should discuss if we want complete server stuff with also the audio and the Ethernet extensions. And for that, maybe we need to make a little bit more tests in order to be 100% sure that
But
the compilation of all the Swagger specifications together can give a good output. This is what I'm currently not sure.
Okay.
okay, but for now we can take also, Arturo. Yeah, we can do it with photonic media. Because
Okay.
I don't think I mean, there were issues from the Ethernet once I include the Ethernet module in the Swagger code gen, or actually OpenAPI code gen, but which I fixed manually. But again, we don't need it right now. So, but are you using Swagger code gen or the OpenAPI generator?
I'm using the OpenAPI.
OpenAPI, the community one. Okay. So that one, when I do the Ethernet, the Ethernet controller has some problems, which we need to fix manually. But Photonic was fine. So,
okay, we can go for the Photonic then.
yeah, you can go for Photonic as start, and because I just need to get the environment running, and then I can easily bring in other stuff we need, or even create sample databases and so on.
There is always a choice. I mean, you can, at least in Python, I know how to do it to easily extend one implementation with the missing TAPI calls for the missing models and augmentations and so on. It's a little bit manual stuff and hard-coded, but it's something that it can be doable in case that we don't have the code generator working. But I had an issue, I mean, something was not exactly working fine with some models that I test this Swagger conversion, the latest one that we are using in TAPI, and the response from the guy that is developing this was very fast. So I think that if we can troubleshoot the problems that the code generator is having, maybe together with the people from the OpenAPI community and this guy from the tool that converts the junk to Swagger, maybe we can find a solution with a little bit of time. So I guess that we can make the effort on debugging this.
Okay, great. So then we'll just take it offline maybe then. Arturo,
Yeah, that would be great, guys. Thanks for the effort. And as soon as I receive something, I'm gonna upload it and start an email thread about it. And as soon as we have it, I would say even if it's not fully complete with TAPI support, it's okay to share it even under the TAPI repository by stating exactly what it supports. I think that sharing something is better than sharing nothing. So that's my idea.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So on the other side, I assigned this to Arturo, so at least it's not me that does this because it's up to you guys. And then I would like Ramon to update us on both of his tasks regarding the full programmable folder transponder and the optical connectivity mapping.
Yes, I wanted to submit a patch today, so it could be reviewed before. Tomorrow I'm not available, so I guess on Thursday or Friday, if things go well, I would have a basic patch for, let me see which, for 7828, the second one. Uh, it's more or less working well. I will need to clean up guidelines and style and all these things that need to be done. I'm having a bit of a problem with a couple of concepts, but at least we will have something that allows us to set up optical connectivity with an open config transceiver. We're doing what we agreed of changing the frequency of the optical channel component. Well, it will be one of the problems is I don't know how to support exactly unidirectional connections in open config. There are some kind of comments in the model saying OpenConfig assumes bidirectionality and everything is shown from the transmission perspective. Assume that for the receiver is the opposite. Well, this is things we will find when we start integrating. And but anyway, summary of this, it's right now I have the Linux box in front of me. I'm basically what I'm doing, I'm translating the flow rule to the optical channel signal on the port, deducing if it's the X or RX, and then looking for the component that has that optical channel and setting the frequency of that optical channel. We will have a proof of concept. Right now it's going to be fixed grid, 50 gigahertz, and later on we will refine it. So this expect if everything aligns to have it this week. As you know, Andrea, and as you mentioned, I moved everything to ONOS 2.0, and I'm having, I had a couple of issues and problems, and I'm not the only one. And well, we will need to debug several things. This will be taken offline. For the second ticket, I have the code. Actually, I am running a scenario with several OpenConfig devices and internal devices and so on, and ODTN is working fine. The elements are being added in as links and nodes in the TAPI topology. Following the work that entity that I had to change a couple of things because when defining SIPs and so on, they will assume a certain things, and we need to be able to have other devices in the future. It will be OLS or it will be an open rhythm. But well, the summary of this, I'm again hitting a block with the ResConf, and for some reason I'm not able to do a simple get TAPI context. It's really a problem of also of always being in the bleeding edge, but it's one step forward and one and half a step back because we had issues with authentication in ResConf. Now I'm not able to get the TAPI context using a basic ResConf. RPC seems fine. Oh, I will submit back reports about this, but it's these things are slowing us a bit. And this one I cannot give a concrete date. Hopefully, if I can polish the bugs related to ResConf soon enough, it should be maybe 1 or 2 weeks after the first patch. So there's good intentions, but always time runs out. So that's a basic summary. Hopefully, we'll have better news next week or the next week.
Sure, most definitely. Can you share the TAPI topology error you're getting so I can take a look? I've been trying to gather the different bugs and problems that have been happening due to probably a 2.0
I'm not getting a
update.
TAPI topology at all. I'm getting basically if I do get I don't remember data resconf TAPI common dot colon context. I'm getting an error from ONOS, and then is that cannot convert the data nodes to something like trees. And I will send it by I'm not at the screen right now. I will share it by email as soon as possible.
Okay.
That said, something similar to Hamano. If I get the TAPI context via the ODTN command line interface, I got a nice XML, and I tried, this is still internal because it's a different thing, but I tried with 2 OpenConfig devices and 1 OpenRODEM. And if the OpenRODM has 80 ports, the 80 ports are added to the context, and things work fine. But I'm not able to retrieve it via resconf.
I see. Okay. Then yeah, please share the detail. I might have to look into it myself, or have somebody that is knowledgeable about the implementation to look at it. It might be something simple. It might be something more difficult. I'll just send it over. Any detail that you have on this, and any
Yeah.
and actually everybody who is actually developing on ONOS at the moment, if he finds any bugs due to the 2.0 upgrade, please do share them. And this actually
Um,
ties in with the discussion that we were having last time about. Oh, sorry, Ramon, did you want to say something?
no, I wanted to just put a comment on the table. It's not a complaint. I like to work on the bleeding edge as much as possible, and really we discover things. But if I take a look back at my last months that we've been doing this, a significant chunk of the work is bug reporting and identifying and coming up with a scenario that reproduces the bug. And sometimes the bug is fixed, but then a new version changes something and we get regressions. It's not a complaint, just let me sure about this. But one thing we can consider is if in a let's say close time frame we come up with a version that it's stable enough for our purposes, which means has a basic RESTconf working, has a RPC for connectivity request, has a basic southbound interface, and has some TAPI. I would maybe consider freezing or branching at that point.
Yes, that's a very good point, and actually, I wanted to share with everybody my thoughts on this. So, my thoughts on this is that 2.0 should be released. So, right now it's 2.0 snapshot, which is master, and should be released in a few weeks. If we can get everything settled on 2.0 before the release, meaning phase 1.0 working and also the additions of everybody at the moment working. I say we freeze on 2.0 and we do the development on the 2.0 branch when it gets released. And at that time, then when 2.1 gets released, we check that 2.1 gets stays on the new has the same functionality. So we check everything that it's good on 2.1 when that gets released, and then we port our patches to 2.1. We check that it is okay, and then we move the development to 2.1. So basically, my suggestion would be to stay a release back from the bleeding edge. And we've seen this happening in previous projects, such as like SIBA. It's core. It's running 1.14. It's um, it's now like Trellis. It works on a release back. So everything I would say is that we should stay on 2.0. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a story for myself that to use as soon as 2.0 get released is that to make sure that everything works on 2.0 and um, and then issue an email to everybody saying, okay, from this moment on, we know 2.0 is working, so please do use 2.0 as a base for your development. How does that sound?
To me, it's fine. Of course, there will be probably work on your side because if we find bugs on core subsystems or other aspects that are not specific to ODTN, it will need to be ported to master. But I guess that you will take care of this.
Yes, that's no problem. I can do that. And I can take and I assure that any bug that is fixed on the master that can pertain also to our end gets backported to 2.0 or the version that we are developing on. So right now would be 2.0, but basically the idea is to stay a release back. And I'm gonna make sure that we make this happen. as before release, that everything on ODTN is working before releasing 2.0. So we know that 2.0 works perfectly fine. Any other comments on this? No? Okay. So a few other points that I wanted to ask is, well, these two stories are blocked by the simulator, because I mean I could create some shell code, I could create like something that is not really fully done, but it's really not useful for now. We stay until the simulator comes up. I wanted to
One comment, sorry.
yes.
For the 7826, just to make sure that we're not duplicating effort. Well, Arturo can comment, he's online, but Telefonica is working on this ticket.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, Arturo, can you comment, or am I mistaken, or?
Yes, we are indeed working on it. We are still on the phase of fully understanding the, let's say, internal working on ONOS in order to develop a driver, and that's what I didn't wanted to stand up and say that we had progress on it. So probably we can post something like preliminary driver structure in the following weeks, because actually during this week we have start finding the way to integrate this. Basically, what we are doing is to take the examples of the Sienna driver for the web server
Yes.
that is using the REST driver provider. We are finding some differences between that one and ours, because in our case, we are trying to simply expose the OLS controller as a single device, and this is not exactly the same behavior that the driver that the people from Siena developed. Basically, the idea of the REST provider driver is that it expects that there are multiple devices under the main device. I think that the device driver for REST basically is targeting a controller that is going to expose multiple devices beneath it.
Yes and no, in the sense that there is that possibility, but there is also the possibility of exposing just one single device.
Okay.
And I made sure of this so in a patch which was merged like last week, because
Okay.
yes, there was some confusion around like devices description discovery and a device description discovery. Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
But the workflow should work for both, and you should be able to expose, just like the netconf device, one single device with the ports and the description at the startup. And if you want, we can maybe I can actually go maybe through with you, or send you more detail on an email. But the idea is exactly the same as netconf. So you send down a netcfg file, and that netcfg file should trigger the the request for the description and the request for the ports, and then when that gets done, it will report it to the ONOS core.
Mm-hmm. I see. I think that the missing part is the latest commit that maybe you did 1 week ago or something, because with the current version that we are working on, it was this this problem that the REST provider class discovery behavior was implemented in our class, and taking as an example the netcom device drivers that we have seen, like for the Nokia transponder or the others, it was not exactly fitting, and there was giving some errors. So basically what I went through, it was to basically to try to modify the REST provider. But if you already did that, I think that it will just simply to download the latest patch and try again. So I will keep you update. I will try to work with my colleague here in Telefonica on solving this by downloading the latest patch. And if we didn't get through, I will contact you in order to get some help. Okay.
Sorry, I got dropped
Yes.
just in the very interesting moment. What was the alternative that you mentioning? I was,
Uh,
Andrea, you said that another approach is?
Oh, well, there was the other approach, which was something that was used in a previous work, that was one controller exposing many devices. And so there was a REST behavior to expose many device description and many device set of ports. So, but this is the patch I'm referring to, Arturo. So let me, I'll just put it in the notes so everybody has it.
okay.
Yes.
Okay, I understand that for the first phase, it's enough with a big switch approach,
Yes.
but then we will do something like the proxy. I think the Achino guys did something like this, right? So you have
Yes,
one controller acting as a proxy for multiple devices, right?
yes, that is exactly where this multiple devices REST started from, the Achino project. And if we need it, depending on the future of the project, if we go down with the RODOM strategy or with a disaggregated OLS, let's see that in the future, but we might end up reusing the same.
Thank you.
Yes, and so as I was saying, is no, this one. So basically, it's just that before there was this piece over here was not implemented. So at the first time, you actually had to implement this devices discovery behavior to actually issue one single device. But now, if you just send down the REST configuration, and ONOS should get just one device and go through this piece here and discover the device details here.
Yeah, that's exactly the part of the code that I was trying to implement as well. I will take a look. I will download this patch and then we can
It's
discuss.
yes, it's in the current master. It's in also 1.15. And also, if you have any problems that you encounter, please just feel free to send me an email. And if you want a more technical discussion also with your developer about some of these components, I'm very free to have it.
Okay, thanks very much.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so where were we? Okay, so these two, I think at the moment this one is actually the one which is in progress, and this is probably the one that is going to be done after 7825. Okay, so one thing that I want to ask somebody, if this is aware of the people here, is the state of two patches. One is this one, which is related to a task which is like related to DCS. Does anybody know what exactly this thing was doing? I think it's a prototype of translation on the southbound of XML.
I had a Yes, but I don't think well, I wouldn't give this a lot of priority because it's not clear for the submitted patch what was the intent of the patch. And I think it happens with both patches that you just put in the agenda.
Okay. So my take would be that we probably would abandon these two
My
patches.
comment is that they are like playing a bit with
Ramon?
leave them open for the time being. I
Okay.
remember that with Utah, well, Utah had ideas for ODTN, but they were very, very generic about some kind of XML or JSON encoding that is generic, but we found a lack of resources to follow that approach, that line, having some kind of generic translation to XML. But this, like, as you see, is April 3, so it's quite a few months ago. I don't close them, don't abandon them, leave them open, just in case the owner of the patch says something. But I don't see them now as a priority for the work items that we have to accomplish.
Yes, agreed. Okay, yeah, I'll leave them open and see where that leads us. Okay, and Arturo, just that I know, so you're following this document
Yes, exactly.
for the details of. Okay, perfect. That's great. Okay. Um, a good thing about the OLS that I want to mention to everybody is that both Adva and Infinera agreed to participate, or at least we are very much along in discussion with them about their participation of with an OLS compliant with TAPI 2.1 on at the OFC demo. In the end, I did not update the submission because there was not a clear ask from any of these companies to like update the submission, including their names, and I think it's a bit too strict, and I left it open in case somebody else also wants to step in. And by the way, I forgot at the start of the call, since I think he joined. Yes, I'd like to introduce everybody to Kevin Jones from Juniper, and we had a very productive discussion yesterday about the possible involvement of Juniper into the ODTN project, and I'll let Kevin introduce himself.
Thanks, Andrea. So, hi, I'm Kevin Jones. Obviously just listening in for a while and trying to catch and get up to speed. My background is not particularly in software, which is clearly where a lot of you are very strong, but more in optical networking and the hardware side of it. So hopefully I'll at least be able to make sure that that Juniper stays current with your progress, but also that we can hope to contribute further down the line.
Thanks for that, Kevin. And I know that a lot of the discussion that we had today might have seemed a little bit odd to you, but I think it's very low level in the trenches, and this is where the thing gets decided, and then you can stay up close, and then we can follow up on your progress, and then how we can align better in the future.
For sure. So, thanks.
Okay. Okay, so I think that was kinda everything on my side. Does anybody have any points they want to bring up? Oh yes, no, sorry, I forgot something that I needed to ask Juan, since he is the only one from Nokia on. Juan, there was a discussion about updating Nokia's proposal on the ODTN track at ONF Connect. I did not receive any follow-up from Dominique about what exactly we would like to do. Can you make sure that he replies to my last email about that in order to properly set up that demo that you guys were doing?
Okay. So yeah, I didn't remember that last email that you sent. You were asking about the why. So we have changed from the 2.0 to the 1.0 plus something, right?
Yes. I'll make sure to resend the email so we can follow up on that offline, because I want this to be done by.
You were also asking the remote access to the our lab, right?
Yes, we'll see also about that. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we can make a follow up on this.
Okay, just that. Okay, so that was really the end on my side. Does anybody have any other points, any other questions that they want to bring up?
I want to ask one thing to Andrea. Is there any progress or update about the having tip and entity lab guys in the ON.Lab Connect presentation or keynote?
So that's another very good question. I did a follow up with when Dai, because he's the one supposed to have the talk at ONF Connect.
Yes.
And I think it also depends on the alignment and the level of alignment we decide to have a tip with tip. For that, I'm going to give a presentation about our collaboration proposal with tip at this Friday's technical leadership team meeting.
Yes.
But I will follow up with Dai via email about the keynote. And also because I think we need to make sure that there are the proper people on stage during the plenary session to properly promote ODTN.
Okay, got it. Also, I can help you about these topics, so let me keep closer about that.
Okay, yeah, I'll follow up via email and see where that leads, and make sure that we get this done by this week. Any other questions?
Okay,
Any other points? Okay, so if not, I encourage you to take a look at the Metro Hall demo. That was a really nice demo, and it included also parts of the what I believe we will be using in a 2.0 phase of the project with the Open Rodum devices. So please go take a look. And if you have any questions, I think many of the people in the call could help you with those questions. And having said that, thanks everybody for joining, and I'll follow up via email on the different set of things that I have to do. Arturo, if you have any question on the rest, please do send me an email.
Okay.
And please do also send me the OpenAPI TAPI work that you have done, so I can share it with everybody, and Karthik can also take a look at it. And yes, anybody else? I'm available via email, and let's continue the discussion over there. So thanks everybody.
Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.